Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're looking into the disappearance of Julia Lynn Moranda, and she went missing in 1990 in Yakima, Washington. 31 years old, 5 foot tall to 5 foot 2, 125 to 140 pounds. It says she was addicted to drugs at the time of her 1990 disappearance. She had brown hair and blue eyes. She has tattoos, a rose on her left breast, a partial rose on her right breast, the letter D on her left hand, and the letter J and a small square on her right hand. Her nickname is Julie. She may dye her hair red. Her shoe size is 6.5 narrow. She may use aliases such as Becky Walker, Terry Lee Moe, Terry L. Moore, and or Janice M. Young. She may use the alias dates of birth such as January 11th, 1944, June 21st, 1940, and or February 12, 1953. She was last seen getting into a vehicle with an unidentified driver in the parking lot of a Yakima Sports Center in Yakima, Washington on December 7, 1990. She worked as a prostitute at the time of her disappearance and was also an intravenous drug user. Miranda has never been heard from again. Another woman disappeared from the same area 1 month after Miranda vanished. Authorities believe that the cases may be connected to convicted serial murderer Robert Lee Yates Jr. A photo of Yates is posted with this case summary. He is occasionally referred to as the Spokane serial killer. Yates was married and served with the United States National Guard during the 1990s. He was charged with the murders of 13 women in Washington area during the same time period in 2000. Yates pled guilty and was sentenced to 408 years in prison. Afterwards, he was charged with 2 additional homicides, convicted, and sentenced to death. Authorities believe that Yates may be responsible for numerous disappearances and or murders of people, mostly prostitutes, in the Washington area. He's never been charged in connection with her case, and her case has never been solved. But 1990, she goes missing. And the one I just did last time, December 1990, this girl went missing not a month after, but 4 months after. So how many people went missing from that parking lot? And this girl, Susan Libby, she was 5 foot to 5 foot 2. She only weighed 90 pounds because she was doing drugs. But she said the bartender saw her getting into a maroon pickup, which he recognized, owned by Bill Robinson, who was the brother of John Robinson, who was convicted of first-degree rape and kidnapping in her case. He was sentenced in spring of 1991, and he threatened her and her family in open court. So this guy, John Robinson, had kidnapped her and raped her, and so she was abducted by him, and that happened in 1990. And she was abducted and raped in 1990 and suffered anxiety from the attack. The parking lot that she was seen getting into the vehicle with him at was the Sports Center Tavern in Yakima, Washington. And this happened in 1990, right? At the Yakima Sports Center in Yakima, Washington. So why do they think that Yates did it? And why don't they think that John Robinson did it? And because this girl right here, the last time anybody ever saw her, John Robinson was in jail or somewhere, but she got into a vehicle with his brother Bill Robinson, who owned a maroon pickup truck. So I don't understand why they're not thinking that this person did it, that did it to the other girl, and instead they're thinking about Yates. Because nobody mentions Yates in her case. No, they think it's the one guy that did that. And if he's kidnapping her and raping her, why wouldn't he do that to another girl? I don't understand that. So anyway, we're going to look at some Jane Does, because I had Jane Does open because this girl was on my list last, and this one was the next one on my list that I created. So now I figure, well, I might as well look at some of the same Jane Does, right? So she went missing in 1990, Yakima, Washington. It says she was 5 foot to 5'2", 125 to 140 pounds, but she was using drugs, and this girl only weighed 90 pounds. So I don't know. You know, you would think she might have lost some weight if she's doing drugs. So this Jane Doe, who does also look like her, especially with the hair, and I don't know where they get the hair from. That's interesting, because I was wondering where they got the bangs from, thinking it could be the other girl because, you know, but I didn't know why they had bangs. But wow, it really, the artist rendering of this woman really looks like this other girl, doesn't it? I thought it looked like the other one, but now I think it really looks like this one too, so I don't know. You know how it goes. So this one was discovered in 1995, and she died between 1985 and 1995. Partial skeletal remains. Age 20 to 40 years old. How do they do these sketches? So I don't know. You know, it could be somebody else. It says she's missing teeth in the upper right portion of her jaw, and she may have wore dentures. But like I said before, you know, somebody might have killed her. When they killed her, they could have knocked her teeth out. They could have beaten her up when they were holding her captive, or if it was that one guy that was kidnapping people and raping them, I don't know. Because I always think, I've read that sometimes they lose their teeth when their body's being dragged around, and so I don't know when she lost her teeth. You'd have to ask the professional people if they were missing before she died or after she died, and if they could tell how long they were missing before she died, if they weren't beaten up and knocked out. I don't know. But this is 4.5 hours from where she went missing that the body was found. So, you know, and of course it's slow. My computer's slow. I should have had this opened and ready because I just used this for the other video. So there we go. It's a 4.5 hour drive. They just barely went across the Canadian. If it was her and if it was somebody in this area, they just barely went across the Canadian border to hide the body. And that would be, you know, if you're gonna hide a body, a lot of people go across state lines to hide the body. But can you imagine going across another country's lines, thinking, oh, they won't figure that out, right? Okay. And then there's this Jane Doe, and she died in 1991. May 14th, so surely they would have seen her since then. And she was in an auto accident. She died the same day. It was like a fiery car wreck. She was a passenger. They think she was a hitchhiker because they identified the driver, but they couldn't identify her. And I don't know if they thought she was white before, but they call her Helen Doe, and they changed their minds and decided that she was probably Native Indian, but I don't know. I think this one could be this girl right here, but I don't know for sure. Because this happened in May 1991 and she went missing April 23rd. So if she went missing April 23rd, it could be her, but I don't know. And then there's this Jane Doe, and she died a year before August 1991. She was 20 to 45 years old, 5'1" to 5'4". She was found in Canada, and we'll see how far that is. And that's a year after this girl went missing. This girl went missing December 1990, and this one was August 1991, so that's about a year after. And we'll see how far away that one is. That one is about the same distance, so that could be her as well. It looks like I did that already. And then we have this girl, and she's in Oregon. but she died in 1993. So, and she's 5'4", so she's too tall. She weighed 140 pounds. And so, but I left it in there because I had it open already. She had brown hair and brown eyes, and this girl had brown hair and blue eyes, so this one could not have been her, so we'll kick that one out. And I'm going to move this one to the end. So, next one we have is Lynn County, Oregon. Lynn County, Oregon, there was a couple of them, but I only opened this one. I don't know where the other one was. But there was a school located in Lynn County, Oregon. So, and it just says years prior. So there's really not that much there. But I thought, because I don't know. If somebody's killing somebody and doing something with their bodies, I don't know where they're putting them exactly. And that's 5 hours away. You know, you go in different ways you could go. And then we have Roseburg, Douglas County, Oregon. Years prior, it says. It doesn't say which year. It says 18 to 30. It doesn't give a lot of information. The dentals are available, but they don't have the DNA, so I don't even think that, you know. But, and that's like 6 hours away. And then we have this one, and this one's pretty far away. She was 20 to 30 years old, and they can't even tell the sex of the descendant. And I think she was 5 or 6 hours away from where the girl was found. So I don't think that would be helpful at all. And I'm wondering who the girl is that went missing. That's 7 hours away. 7 hours. So, and when they say the girl went missing a month after the other girl, I wonder who it was that went missing a month after, because does that mean somebody else went missing in between the two of them? Because she went missing December 1990. And didn't they say a month after? Yeah. Oh, another woman disappeared in the same area a month after her. So a month after her would have been January of 1991, and this girl went missing April 23rd, 1991. So that's 4 months later. Let's see. Over 4 months. Four and a half. Almost 5 months later. But she wasn't, it wasn't, that's what I'm saying. This girl, they're saying it was Robert Lee Yates Jr. And I don't understand why they're saying it's Robert Lee Yates Jr. when this girl clearly got in the vehicle that was owned by Bill Robinson, a maroon pickup truck, who was the brother of John Robinson, who attacked her, kidnapped her, and raped her, and then she disappeared. So I don't understand. And when he kidnapped her and attacked her and raped her, it happened in 1990. It was a stranger. He was a stranger. She didn't know him. And it was in 1990, and she suffered anxiety from the attack, probably afraid she was going to die at the time that it happened, right? So I don't understand why they don't consider him as a suspect for Julia Lynn Moranda. What do you think? Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions. And if you have any information on this girl, please contact the authorities and let them know so that they will have leads. If you know something, if you saw the vehicle she got into or anything like that, if you remember, because it's been a long time, you know. But I bet things like that stick out in your mind. And if you have any information on any of these cases, please contact authorities and let them know so that these cases can get closed. And don't forget to stop and pray for the families and the loved ones that have lost and missed this person and missed these people, because that's very sad. And she was such a beautiful young lady. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into my channel, and have a great day. Bye bye.